Okay, so welcome back to In the Bucket Seat, guys. I am your host, Rebecca Cox. Still feels so strange to say that. Gosh, there's so many of you here already. But yeah, welcome back to In the Bucket Seat. So it is a Instagram Live podcast series. Still don't know what to call it. This seems to be my intro now where I'm just like, oh, I don't know what to call this. But yeah, basically we just interview your favourite car scene people. This person tonight has been very well. Oh my god, I literally can't speak. The nerves are kicking in. Very much requested. So yeah, and I'm extremely grateful that she wanted to come on. So I'm going to hit the button, see if we can time it right. I timed it right last week. Whether we will this week or not, I don't actually know. But I'm going to do it. So this week, guys, by Queen Bee herself, Becky Evans. Will it load? No? Yeah. We just tested this connection out. Oh, we're in.
Hi.
How you doing?
I'm good, babes. Thanks for having me on. Look at this.
Thank you for coming in. I'm gonna put this up a little bit because I didn't realise it was gonna be so low. So how are you doing?
I'm fine, babes. You know what? I'm like hiding out in Ireland at the minute. So I'm in Drift HQ here in Ireland. I'm at James's house. So yeah,
Nice.
super busy recently, doing stuff here and there, and just kind of, you know, the world's on fire and all the rest of it. So we're just trying to keep going, keep calm, keep carrying on, all that good stuff.
Yeah, I get that completely. So first off, I just wanted to say, obviously, thank you for coming on. And something I was just thinking about is, like, I was doing some research and stuff on you earlier because I wanted to try and, like, figure out as much as I could. And I searched your name in YouTube and I didn't quite realise how popular you was.
It's a mirage. It's all just, it's because I've just been around a while. That's it. That's all it is.
Yeah, so I guess, like, my first question is, just to kick us off, is like, why did you say yes to me, this small person, this small whole thing, when you've been on, you know, you've been on TV, you've been on ITV, you've been on BBC, like, why would you say yes to me?
Because, do you know what? It is so cool to see how many female creators there are coming through. Like, when I first started, I felt so alone. Do you know what I mean? I was like trying to get with all the lads, and like, boys can be dickheads, and it was hard coming through and feeling like I didn't have many girl mates around that I could make content with, and there was just not that many people to relate to, do you know? And like, I look around now and it's like, yes, this is wicked. We're more and more female creators come through, and like, look at you, you're sat here, you've got everything all it's professional, bro. Like, this is how it started, how my career started. It started making content. I didn't have a clue what I was doing when I started with this, you know, making content. So fair play to you. Do you know, like, it's nice to be able to chat to a girl who's like really putting the effort in and doing something good. So yeah, that's 100% why.
Cool. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, I'm not 100% professional, don't get me wrong. Like, I'm literally just sat in the corner of my living room with my curtain behind me, so you can't see the walls. But everyone's got to start somewhere, do you know what I mean? Like, we've all got to start, we've all got to work our way up, and this is just where we're at. But yeah, I do really appreciate you coming on here. Like, you were like the biggest guest I've had, and I've been so nervous all day, and I just wanted to be straight up about it. I'm not the kind of person that like beats around the bush. I'm not going to sit here and I'm not going to say I followed you since the start of your journey, because I haven't. I ended up finding you through Officially Gassed podcast, and that's where I started following you. And I don't want to pretend like I know everything. Like, although I am a female, like, I don't know like loads about cars. I don't know everything there is to know about every single guest. And I guess I just want to try and put myself out there and put myself in at the deep end, I guess, and just see where it goes.
That's the best way to do it. Look, always just take a big jump. It's just, you're finding your feet, you'll find your way, you'll find what's comfortable to you. And that's the only thing I can ever say, is like, you're already doing something great by the fact that you're out here creating this like environment where you're interviewing people. Like, it's good. Like, big up to yourself. Like, it's cool. I like it.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Okay, so I have a list of questions. We're gonna work through them. We're gonna go at our own pace, and we'll just see where this thing goes.
Lovely.
So I'm gonna start nice and simple. Hopefully, if I overspeak you, I apologise, because sometimes it's like a second lag, and I feel so guilty about it.
You're actually perfect. Is my internet all right? Because I'm in deepest, darkest, like, North Cork. Right, drops out, let me know. It's this Irish internet, so just
it's all good so far, but it hasn't been any jumps or anything, so hopefully it sticks that way.
Perfect.
Okay, cool. So we'll start off nice and simple. How old are you?
Oh God, if I think about that, then I was like, how? Geez, I'm 29, babe. I'm getting old. Gee, I'm 30. 30 in June. What is this? Ridiculous.
You do not look it. Oh my God. If I can look that good at 29, I'll be content with life.
You're gonna be grand. I'm telling you. Like it creeps up on you. I'm still 22 in my head, but I'm not. I'm 29 now.
I get that. You get to a certain age, and someone's like, "How old are you?" You're like,
How old are you?
I'm 22, so I'm still like a baby in regards to everyone else.
You're so young. It's lovely. I love it.
Okay, so where are you from?
Me, I'm from Coventry in the Midlands, near Birmingham.
Okay, and have you lived there all of your life?
No, I moved out to London when I was about your age, and then I've just moved back because I bought myself a place in Warwick, which is sort of in the Warwickshire area.
Okay, so what made you move in the first place? Was it down to family or?
So I moved to London because I was working in streetwear in Cov, and then I wanted to go into PR. So I was like, the best place to go and do PR in the world is London to me. Well, like I was like, where am I going to go? I want to do like fashion PR, beauty, lifestyle PR. So I wanted to move down to London and just live that whole lifestyle, early 20s, like young lass, like, and the PR world was so glamorous, you know, like when you think, oh God, yeah, it was just where I wanted to be. I wanted to be in East London. So I got my little flat just outside of Shoreditch and yeah, lived the life for like a good five years that I was there. But yeah, my job at the time was fashion and lifestyle PR, which was kind of crazy because it's not really who I am, to be honest. But you know, you make it work.
Yeah, exactly. So did you move out to there by yourself?
I moved in with a buddy, and then my last couple of years when I was in London, I was living by myself. Yeah.
Was it scary being in London by yourself?
Nah, like I loved it. I'm the type of person that I like my own space. Like, you know, when you live with people in like university and things like that, like you get used to it. But as you get older, when you're in sort of like your late 20s, 25, 26, 27, like living by yourself is grand. Like it's just nice. I loved it. Absolutely loved it.
Just having your own space.
Yeah, 100%. I live by myself now. Like James is here. I'm like, just wait. I don't want you to move in just yet. Just time for that.
Just enjoy it while you can.
Yeah, 100%. And also it teaches you to be really independent, you know, like independence is key, and living by yourself and looking after yourself and just being really okay to just look after your own mind, body and soul. I think that's a life skill that everybody should have.
Yeah, 100%. I agree with that. Okay, so this is something I couldn't really find out from researching you as such. So what do you actually do for a living?
Love that. So I'm a content creator and presenter by trade. So obviously I'm always still creating content on YouTube and Instagram. And I'm working for BBC currently, little bits for ITV, Red Bull TV, doing a lot of stuff sort of there, because I went from doing obviously YouTube videos into doing pre-records. I did my first like TV series with Red Bull TV, then went live presenting, and then so on and so on. So doing Goodwood and Drift Queen and Drift Masters and this and that and then into Gassed Up.
Okay, so I was going to cover this later on, but I feel like it's just right to cover it now. So what made you get into all of that? Was it by accident, or did you set out to get where you are now? Like where did it all start?
I wish I could tell you that it was like a really linear plan to go from here to there, but it really wasn't. I started out, obviously, as I said, fashion, beauty and lifestyle PR, and I was in charge of matching brands with influencers. So I was sort of seeing at the time the landscape changing between print media, things like that, and term advocacy, you know, with like brands wanted to work, so they wanted to work with bloggers. This is when bloggers were really big. Do you remember them? They were like, right, so I was like seeing all this going on, and like naturally I was always doing the car thing in the background. I had my E21 and had my mind for that, and you know the car thing was always just, I was going to Ultimate Dubs, for example, on a weekend. That was the car show circuit. And then I was chatting away to, do you know Lenny de Giza? Do you know like him on Instagram? Like he's one of the old school guys.
Yeah, the name rings a bell.
He would be a pal from back in the day. And he was like, yo, have you ever thought about doing YouTube? Because, you know, there's no girl. And I was like, yeah, there really isn't many females doing this. And he was like, word with my friend who was Sam Seen Through Glass. They're looking for a female creator. I was like, do you know what? Fuck it. Yeah, no, I'll see what happens. And then just the whole thing kind of snowballed, really. Started creating videos, started going to events, this, that, and the other. And then, yeah, from there on, it went into presenting. Yeah, it was just kind of nuts. It was opportunity led, right? So someone would say, would you try this? And even though I had no idea what I was doing, I was like, yeah, go on then, I'll give it a crack, see what happens. And
I love that.
That's how it all sort of came about. And yeah, shit, I've been doing it for a good few years now.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, what sort of age was you when you first started the whole YouTube thing?
Oh, I must be 24.
Okay.
24, 25 anyway. Definitely by 25. But I think it was towards nearer to 25, yeah.
So did you already have a following when you started YouTube? Because I was doing a little scroll through earlier and I went to YouTube and I scrolled all the way back and I think your first video was like a minute long, but it had like 115,000 views.
Yeah, that was
like that's crazy. So did you have a following beforehand or did it come from YouTube?
I had about 20,000 followers maybe or so on Instagram. Obviously the YouTube channel was fresh at that point. Yeah, I started that. I think it's 27, yeah, something like that. Yeah, it was like 20,000 on Instagram and yeah, obviously nothing on YouTube. Never had a Twitter because I just can't deal with another platform. Just popped in the chat, my favorite friend. Didn't have a following on any other platform really, just Instagram. And then yeah, launched my channel with Sam Seen Through Glass and then the rest is history.
It just kind of blew up. Did you kind of like, was it like a gradual thing or did you just like blow up overnight?
It went pretty quickly. Like I think I had 10,000 subs within the first month. Jesus. So yeah, like it fucking popped up. I'm swearing, sorry for that.
Don't worry about it.
You have to like a real professional. Like yeah, no, it popped up quite quickly, but there wasn't, as I said, there wasn't many female creators out there. Obviously collabed with somebody who was big, you know, like Sam the Glass was a big channel at the time, so it was good and it kind of popped up from there. Like in a way I wish that I'd kept the momentum up with the videos at the time and maybe that would have been maybe have a bigger channel now, but at the time because I was trying to work full-time and up with the amount of content creation, I couldn't manage it both. It took me a year to get out of working full-time before I had the backing to be able to carry myself.
Yeah, it does get a lot. Like I'm trying to get back into my YouTube this year and it just feels like it's a lot. Like people just think it's a case of posting a 10-minute video and it's done, but it's really not. There's a lot that goes into it and like creativity, time, effort, like it just takes a lot. And like I've seen how many like videos you've uploaded. I commend you, if that's the right word, I'm terrible with that sort of thing, for like constantly coming up with new stuff to do.
It's like the biggest bane of your life. It's the hardest thing about having a channel, is you're on a hamster wheel and I edit and produce and shoot and drive and I'm doing it all myself because, and that's not like, oh my God, I do it all myself. It's just a case of like, what makes the boat row faster? If you're waiting for someone to help you film, if you're waiting for somebody to help you edit, if you're waiting for somebody to do this, do that, you're just slowing your time down and down and down, which is when I first started. It was like, because you feel like you need to get everything so perfect. You feel like so, you know, you're just like that, oh, everything has to be perfect. And for you to be able to get the amount of content out that you need to grow, you need to be bang on it. You need to be doing at least one video a week, if not two, ideally. And it's just, it's nuts. It's mental. Like I'm doing one a week, but I haven't put one out for 2 weeks at the minute because there's just been too much going on elsewhere in my life. But yeah, that is the main thing with YouTube, is just keeping up with the amount of content that you need to create.
I agree, like especially what you said about like feeling the need for everything to be perfect. I was so much like that at the beginning. Like there was multiple videos I didn't post just because I didn't like the way that something looked or the way that it went. And now that I look back, I'm like, I wish I would have just put it out there. Like, I had nothing to lose. Like, I'm just starting up, so why not? But I completely get the wanting to be perfect thing. Like, it's a lot, and it's a lot of pressure.
Yeah, like we all feel it, you know, like at the end of the day, we're going to get scrutinized no matter what happens. I mean, I still get it to this day. It's like, I don't know what I'm doing. My lips are fucked up. My hair's shit. I'm shit at driving. I don't know this. I don't know that. Like it's always this, you know, like people are always going to say what they want to say about you. But in the beginning, when I didn't have as much confidence, that was like, you know,
Yeah.
it was a lot harder. Like it just takes you a while to get into find your stride with it. So as I said, I would always say, I'll just like post the video, no matter what, just post it and just forget what people say, because actually a lot of people, there's more people that are happy to see you put up some content than some people to, you know, that haven't got the idea that it takes us a while to put a video up, all right? Just leave us alone.
Yeah, I know, right? I know that my boyfriend's watching this right now, and he's on me for this sort of thing, like exactly what you're saying. He's going to be sat there, he's like, yep, I agree, listen to her.
Yeah.
Okay, so what got you into cars?
Oh my God, my dad, 100%.
Yeah.
My dad, I haven't known anything other than cars since I was a young kid. My dad was always into his cars. Like my first memories are with my dad and cars. I used to cry when he started up his 1954 Singer Vogue because it had a straight through exhaust and I didn't understand why it was so noisy. I used to call my when I'm like 6. So yeah, I was going to drag racing. I started go-karting when I was 8, went to junior dragsters when I was about 13, I think. And then, yeah, got my first car when I was 17, which was a Mark IV Golf, then into my E21 when I was 21, and so on and so forth. But yeah, definitely my dad. My dad had some really cool cars over the years. He was into American, my brother was into Japanese cars, and I was into German cars.
So it's literally just been, as far as you can remember, it's just been cars.
Yeah, I was really lucky to grow up in a household where it was just part of our everyday life. I didn't even know any better. My mom had a 1973 Mach 1 Mustang. She had one of those when she was about 25-ish, I think, 25, 26. Yeah, like it was just, I just pictures all over the walls of dad racing and my brother racing and my mom's car and this and that, and it was just always part of my life.
Oh, I love that. I like that a lot. Okay, so what cars do you currently own? Is it just the one?
No, 4 at the minute. So
okay.
So we've got the start from the oldest one. So 1983 E21 BMW, that's a 316. That's old red. That would be the car that's like in my heart the most because that was the car where everything really started to fly, do you know? 88 Porsche 911 Turbo. That's another sweet baby. 2000 S15 SR20. That's my drift car, which is in there. And yeah, E92 M3 manual.
Okay, so if you had to pick one out of all of them, which one's the favourite?
It's a hard toss-up, really, because the 930 is kind of like my dream car. That was one that I just wanted so much when I was growing up. But I'd have to say probably red.
Yeah.
I've had her since I was 21 years old. She's a 316. She's only a little 1.8. But I did so much with that car, and it was such a part of who I was growing up. Like, all I wanted to do was get into the magazine, you know, like the car and BMW and things like that. And I did all of that with that car. And it just really reminds me of the show circuit and all of that community. And yeah, I love her.
It's just sentimental.
Yeah, massively. Like, I'll never sell that car. Like, literally, I could be on my ass, but I'm never going to sell E21. Never.
Yeah. It's just like you say, it's what got you know, what got you to where you are. Like, you've had it for so long. Like, I think that's what cars are all about. Like, it's not necessarily about having the newest and the coolest car. Like, it's what you want. Do you know what I mean?
I couldn't afford it when I was doing cars when I was younger. I didn't have the money. I paid £5,000 for the E21. I think I spent £1,900 on the BBS RSs, and at the time I was like, it was so expensive. And I remember saving up so much for the respray of red. I think it was £4,000, and it was like the most expensive thing that I'd ever done in my life. I was like, I couldn't actually money I was spending on this car. But yeah, like, times had moved on so much. When we were doing, I mean, this is where I sound old now. When we were modifying cars, the cars were like Mark 5 Golf. I remember when a Mark 5 Golf was like brand new. If you had a Mark 5 Golf, you were the tiny tits. Yeah, like, it was just nuts. Like all the cars that were being modified were Mark 2 Golfs, Mark 1 Golfs. Like it was a totally different time. The whole concept of finance cars and finance air and finance this and finance that just didn't exist. Everybody had to buy what they were doing, right? So it was just a very different thing. And I didn't have a load of money. I was just like, we'll just make something that's already cool a bit cooler.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that. Okay, so what would you say is the least favourite car out of the 4 that you've got now?
E92 M3. Like, Jesus Christ. First of all, like, I love it, and I'm just bitching because it's the car that needs the most work right now. The subframe on it's cracked because I took it to a drift day for gassed up. Cracked the subframe. The rear control arm needs replacing. The steering pump needs replacing. There's just loads to do on it. And also, like, I was driving around as a daily for the last like 2 months, and I was spending probably about 600 quid a month on fuel. And if you looked at the fuel prices recently, it's absolutely mental. And I was putting over £100 in the tank each time, and I was probably doing 250 miles, which when you're making content and moving around the country as much as I am, it's chronic. So it just doesn't make, even though I love it, it's because I think I was daily. That's where it all went wrong. When you have a car like ran for daily, but using an E92 M3 is just a disaster. Like, but she'll be fine. Once I get it done, I've got a load of plans for it. But for now, yeah, probably say
it's like a love-hate relationship.
Oh God, yeah. It's just that's annoyed me, that one has.
Okay, so let's have it so you list off every car that you've ever owned, obviously other than the 4 you've got now. Start from the beginning. Where did it all start?
So that would be the Mark. Sorry, my door. Started with the Mark 4 Volkswagen Golf.
Yeah.
That was a sick car. Had all like US spec bumpers on it, smoothed off rub strips. Yeah, that was so low. It was just, I did the most to that car. Like, I loved it. So we had the Mark 4, and then I sold that to go traveling. Then I had like an A3 S9 for a bit, just on some coilovers. No one really ever saw that car. Then I moved from that into the E21. I had the E21 and the Mark 4 at the same time for a bit. I had 2 cars at that point. Then sold the 4, then went into the A3, then went into a 595, a Bath. Love that. That's a great car. That's a great car. Like, so much fun for sort of driving around London and just whipping out. Yeah, really good. It was really fun. Then I moved from the 595 into the F80 M3. Did I move into that? I think so. Yeah, because I was rocking the E21. I used the E21 as a daily for so long. Like, just super cool. I used that for a long time. Yeah, into the F80 M3, then the Porsche, then the S50. Yeah, so I haven't actually had that many cars when I think about it. Probably about 10.
That's what I was thinking. I don't know. I guess I kind of expected you to say a lot more than you actually did.
Yeah, no, because I get too sentimental and I want to keep them.
Yeah.
And it's just, at that point, you're starting to take up loads of space everywhere.
You just thought, I just need to do something about it.
Yeah, it's a pain. You end up like me and James at the minute, between us have like 16 cars. So it's just silly.
That is a lot of cars, Jesus Christ. If you had to pick out of just the previous cars that you've had, what would be the favourite? One that you haven't still got now?
Oh, I would definitely say the 595. Oh no, I love my F80. My F80 is so cool. Yeah, really liked that car. But like, I had to shift her on because it was a complete seller's market. Like, those cars were going for ridiculous money. I actually paid the same money that I bought it for 2 years previously with more mileage on it. I was like, sometimes she's got to go. You know when it's got to go.
Yeah, money talks, and it's a no-brainer for something like that.
Well, an F80 M3, don't get me wrong, it's never going to be a classic. There were so many of these, and okay, mine was called as an individual, like, speed yellow wicked machine. There was just no way I was ever going to get the same money I paid for it again. So I just punted it off when it was right. So that was the best thing I could have done.
Yeah, take advantage of it. I get it.
100%.
What is the favourite modification you've done? like across the board? All right, let's say for your current cars.
Oh, I guess like if you want to go into the drift car, we put the body kit on that. That looks sick. We have an Origin Lab Raging kit. Like that really made that car stand out. Like it was wicked, you know, like of all the things you could do. But then also it's like little things, you know, the E92 M3, I've just put the E-Venturi carbon air intake on that with the plenum. Very cool. Love that.
Okay, so oh god, I've completely lost where I am. Where am I? Okay, there.
Right.
So are you planning to keep all of the 4 cars that you've got now for quite a while, or are you thinking of selling one soon, or you're not sure yet?
Well, probably, yeah. There's like definitely another 2 that will come maybe in the next year and a half. E92, I'm gonna have some fun in it. I'll see how that lands up. But that's definitely one I probably want to own for a long time. Like E92 M3s, we're in the last era of big displacement engines. You know, they're never gonna sell V8s ever again. Like unfortunately. So something like that I probably would keep. And like the E92, the E21, the drift car, and the 930, they're never gonna be leaving. But probably not. I'm probably gonna end up keeping all 4 of these. And then I want to buy myself something bougie for my 30th. So I'm just sort of looking at my options right now.
I was going to say the next question was going to be, what is your next car going to be? Hence why I asked that. Have you got one in mind, or do you want to keep it a secret? Like, I don't want to just, you know, tell everyone.
I'm trying to think, what do I really want? Like,
yeah,
it's really weird. Like I bought the 930 Turbo and that was kind of always my dream car. So at this point I'm like, what do I want, you know? Yeah. But I was thinking 991 Porsche GT3, maybe a GT3, or maybe a G80 M3, just simply because I want to drive the wheels off it. Like I see those cars around quite a lot, and I just feel like no one's made any like pure sick content of them broad yet. So it's like I'm just thinking content opportunities basically now, or an AMG GT. I quite like them as well. Do you know the little 2 roadsters? They're pretty cool. Yeah. Or a GTR, Nissan GTR, but I feel like R35 GTRs have been done quite a lot. So
yeah, quite a lot. Do you ever see yourself getting like a fully practical car? Like, you know, like, huh?
100%.
You do? Okay.
You need one, right? You need a practical daily car. Like, I don't care what anyone says. Your daily car is a very important choice. Let me tell you this. Because when you're doing the mileage and you're trying to keep up with the content and drive from shoot to shoot and doing this and doing that, your daily car is the one that's going to get you to like there and back. And you want good MPG, you want a good sound system, comfortable, heats up quick, comfortable to drive. So actually, sensible car, X3, X5, something like that.
I was going to say, what would you go for?
I've been looking around a lot at them actually, but probably something small SUV. Do you know, like, or a state car? State cars are super handy and they can look really cool as well. So yeah, probably X5, Q5. What else to look at? The little Tiguan things. They're cool. The R-Line. The R-Line stuff is actually really nice, but everyone's a bit of a snob about the Volkswagen these days. But actually, that's where it's at.
I think they're alright, to be fair, and I think especially since they've updated them as well, I think they look a lot better than they used to.
The R-Line stuff is really nice. I think it looks. I was looking at a Touareg the other day, like an R-Line Touareg. They're sick. The black editions. You get so much standard equipment. You could get like a Bogo spec Q5 or an absolutely spec to its eyeballs R-Line black edition Touareg, and like you're still paying less for the Volkswagen. I was like, sign me up.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so when did you pass your driving test?
October 2000. God, this is really showing how old I am now. Yeah, October 2010.
Okay.
Maybe 12 years ago. What was I? Was 17 anyway. I know that.
17, yeah. How many attempts did it take you to pass? 2. Okay, I'm glad it's not just me. Everyone else has been like 1, I passed first time, and I was like 2.
Gotta hope. I stalled it coming into a roundabout and someone nearly T-boned me, so peace out. That was me. That was my first test. I was just too nervous. I was in the wrong gear. Stalled. Do you know? I was so nervous. Like, obviously all I wanted to do was drive. So my driving test, I was like chronically like nervous about it. And yeah, I went into a roundabout, thought I could roll in, and I think I put it into like fourth instead of second, and it just went like into the roundabout, and then someone was like coming, and then I was like, this is fine, put it into first and drove away. But I had to like stop and like panic and flap the key down and start it again, and yeah, that was it.
Just the worst. It's like so much pressure.
Yeah, big time. And I just completely, yeah, I knew it as well, and I was so annoyed at myself. And then she said the rest of the trip, like I pretty much like fucked it in the first sort of 25 minutes, or like 20 minutes of the drive. Do you know what I mean? So then the rest of the drive, she was like, you were absolutely perfect. Like I would have passed you if it wasn't for that one thing. And I was like, you're not helping anyone by telling me that. I was like, I've already failed. Like,
Did you cry when you failed?
Yes, did you?
Yeah.
Yeah, cried.
Oh, I literally failed, like probably about a minute coming out of the test centre.
Did you?
You come out of the test centre and you turn right and then immediately left. And apparently I went just over the white line, and as I was turning the left, and I had to do the whole rest of the test when I knew I'd failed. And I literally got home and I just sobbed. I was so gutted.
It happens. I failed my first bike test as well. You know, like when you do the practical.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what it was for? I went into a 30 zone, and I was like, shit, I didn't see what the speed limit was. And I was like, it's either a 30 or a 40. Do you know what I mean? I couldn't remember what it was. And I was like, right, I'm going to err on the side of caution and do 30, because then if it's a 30, then I'm doing the right speed. If it's a 40, I don't think it's a 40. It was either speed or do the speed limit or something.
Yeah.
And yeah, it turns out it was oh no, that was it. Anyway, I was 10 miles an hour underneath the speed limit. And that's why he failed me, because apparently like a car was having to go slow behind me, and that's why I failed. And I was like, that's not fair. But anyway.
Yeah, that's a bit like they tell you that the speed limit is a limit and not a target, but when you drive under it, they're like, no, you need to go faster.
The maximum, not a minimum, is what my dad used to say. But yeah, no, failed me. But anyway, look, do you know what? Second time around, whiz through it, no bother.
You've got it, and now look at you now.
Exactly. Don't need it. It's fine.
How many attempts did it take you to pass your theory? Just one.
Just one. I was a bit of I really like tests. That sounds ridiculous, but like actual written tests, I'm like, yeah, I can do this. So I think I smashed my theory. It was like 2 off perfect or something.
Yes, similar sort of thing to me. Like I smashed my theory the first time, and I just felt like that to me was much easier than the actual driving test itself. Like it was a lot less pressure.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, no, I get where you're coming from with that. Okay, so have you ever had any crashes?
Yeah, I've had
on the road, I should say, because drifting, I'm sure, will be a different story.
I've had loads of them. Trust me. Oh my god, drifting on the road. I've had two. Like one which was like, yeah, okay, fine, you're a dick, and the second one was just, it was so annoying. It was still my fault. The first one was I passed my driving test like 2 weeks, and had all my mates in the back of the car. I thought I was Harry hot shit coming around a corner, and like the car just understeered and like slipped up the curb and literally smashed my whip, like smashed the hub off, like just launched it up a curb. But it wasn't, I must have been doing like maybe 30-40 mile an hour, but it just understeered like straight up onto the curb, so it just smashed the wheel like at the hub straight off, which I was mortified about because I had all my mates in the car.
Yeah.
And then you know what lads are like when you're at, I think I was 17. So they were all like, whoa, like taking the piss out of me for weeks. So even to this day, there's one of my mates that still like writes a comment every now and then, like dangerous driver over here or something like that, just because of that. And the second one was really annoying. I was probably about 20, 21. And we were in, like a stop-start traffic on the motorway. I have my mates in the car, we're all buzzing, we're going for a night out somewhere, there's chaos in the car, everyone's like singing and blah, 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 and turning the radio up and all the rest of it. And I think I was chasing, when you're like rolling, just like not even 1 mile an hour, 2 mile an hour. And she was like, oh, change the CD. This is when we had CDs. And I changed the CD in the thing, and I just rolled into the back of someone. I was and like,
it's so easily done when there's so many distractions though.
Oh, back in the day, like definitely. These days, like they could be doing anything. I'm just zoned out. But
Mhm.
yeah, we were trying to change the CD. It was like now 30 or something. Trying to change the CD.
Jesus.
One smoking out the window. You know what I mean? Like you're like
Yeah.
smoking, eating a McDonald's, seeing it's like all this chaos going on in the car. I just rolled into the back of someone. I was like, oh fuck. But then since then, I've been grand.
Fingers crossed. Touch wood. Touch wood. I'm touching wood for you. You've said it now.
I know. I was just thinking that. Fuck yeah. Touch wood. Yeah, that's fine.
So when I was looking at your YouTube channel, I noticed you've travelled a lot of places, right? In regards to car stuff. So how many places do you think you've travelled just for car related stuff?
Oh my god. It must be like 15 countries.
Really?
So
just
like
car stuff?
yeah, I'd say I'm very lucky like with my job. I've been to Japan like twice with my job, been to America countless times, if not with the drifting with James, before that was for work.
Mm-hmm.
All Europe, you know, Latvia, Lithuania, Germany, France, Austria, Belgium, like just, and where else have we been? Yeah, it's nuts. All over Europe, America, Japan. It's been pretty crazy.
That's like the dream. Like I love that, the fact that you're able to travel with work and stuff. Like I want to travel the world, so I absolutely love that.
Yeah, and do you know what? Like one of the biggest things was obviously the car community. Like I was joining at a time when sort of cars online was becoming more global. So like people from America would be chatting with people from the UK, and I was going in 2015, I think, I was going to a car show in America to meet people that I'd never even met before. They were just like, oh, come, you should come. And I was like, yeah, all right, fine. Went, you know, like got a flight to New York, drove down from New York to PA, went to Pennsylvania, and then from PA we went down to Maryland to a show called H2O, and that was at Ocean City. But these are people that I'd never met before. Like I was just sort of going out on a whim, and like there was like a couple of girls and stuff, so I wasn't going out. I'm like, don't go and meet strangers on the internet, whatever you do. But you know, take a chance on it. And then I had this really like cool, like fun bunch of friends in the US that I go to car shows with, and yeah, it was kind of nuts, to be honest. Like I'm lucky in that sense that I've been able to travel, and being with James now with drifting, it's taken us all over the world, you know. More recently we've been in Russia, but beyond that, like we've been in the US and all across Europe and things like that. So
what would you say your favourite places that you've been for car stuff?
probably Japan.
Yeah.
Japan is super cool. Just they have so much style over there. Like I do find they're the originators of so many cool things. Like whenever you look at your Nissans, your S14s, 15s, GTR, Skylines, that type of stuff, like there's so much car culture in Japan, and they just do it really cool. I don't know, it's hard to explain. Just their car culture is so spot on. It's nuts.
Yeah, I get it. I'd agree. I'd quite like to go to Japan for car related stuff, to be fair.
Yeah, I'm really intrigued. I was going to ask you a question actually.
Oh, go ahead.
I know, I'm like this. I'm like, when did you get into the car scene? Like, what made you come into this?
Mine wasn't really all of my life. Like, my dad used to sell cars and stuff as I was growing up. And I don't know, to be honest, people ask me this question. I don't actually know. I had like a standard Ford Fiesta. It was just a 1.2. It was a Z-Tech. It was what it was. I tinted the windows. I changed the LED bulbs inside, and I was like, oh my god, I'm a car girl.
Here she is.
I know, right? And I don't entirely know what it was. I ended up, you know, Kate Platt.
I do know Kate. Yeah.
Yeah. So I ended up finding her
pregnant as well. Is that a new announcement? I think it was an announcement today that she's pregnant.
Yeah, she is. Yeah.
She is.
I think she's here as well, actually. But yeah, I ended up. Oh god, this we're like probably talking over each other because of the signal. Yeah. So what was I saying? Oh yeah, so I found her YouTube channel, and it was when she had the yellow Fiesta ST, and I absolutely fell in love with it. I was like watching every single new video that she brought out. So I was like, Kate's got an ST, I want an ST, so I had an ST. And then yeah, it kind of spiraled from there, and now here I am with my Mustang, and I'm just kind of rolling with it, I guess. But the Mustang was a dream for me for a few years now, and came to the position. I was like, you know what, I'm just going to go for it. So here we are.
That's amazing. I really like it. It's purple, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's weird. Did you have it wrapped?
Yeah, it took me so long to decide on that colour. It was ridiculous. I was having a mental breakdown. I literally decided on it the day that I needed to have it decided by to have it fitted in for when I had it booked in. Like, it was literally that night. I was like, right, I need to just make a decision. And as far as I'm aware, no one's done that purple in the UK. And I think only like one person has done it in the rest of the world. And I wanted unique. So I was like, right, we're going for that. And it completely paid off. Like, I love it. I'm obsessed with it.
Yeah, no, I saw it. I think I saw it on a picture. I think it was on like a Garage Girls post or something. I was like,
Yeah.
And then that's how I came across you, because I was looking for female creators, and I was like, oh, okay, cool. There's this girl is doing, and yeah, that's how I actually came across you.
Oh, I love that. I was literally sat in a restaurant as you followed me. I was like, oh my god, what have I done? Okay.
That's fair.
So how was filming for Gassed Up? How did you find it?
Mental. Like, it was, I was trying to sort of take it all in, because it's my first proper TV mainstream job. So I kind of be present the whole time, be like, whoa, taking it all in. You know, because I was working with really cool people like Joel Dommett, Big Nasty, Nicola Adams, like Mist, obviously himself, like he's hilarious. It was a really incredible opportunity, and just really fun because it basically we're just dicking around in cars. Do you know, at the end of the day, like, if we're in cars, we're on electric bikes, we're on this, we're on that. Like, it was really fun. It was just over the summer. It was like the whole of my summer last year, so I couldn't talk to anybody about it. I couldn't. I was so busy doing that. But yeah, no, definitely, it really paid off. I thought it was really good. I mean, have you seen an episode yet?
I see a few minutes of it earlier when I was looking through, but I do actually want to sit down and properly watch it. But we don't have, like, not a lot of people know this, we don't watch live TV. Like, we don't have TV. Like, we have Netflix and Prime, and that's it. Like, we don't have a TV license or nothing. Like, all of this stuff just goes over my head. Like, everyone's like, have you seen this on ITV? And I'm like, no, like, I don't watch it. So
services, get you on some catch-up services.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, I need to actually sit down and watch it, because if it wasn't for me seeing your Instagram post on it, I wouldn't have even known that it existed.
Yeah, that's nuts, isn't it? Like, I think that's one of the biggest things that we've noticed. Like, back in the day, TV was the biggest medium. Like, everybody wanted to be on TV, but with the way content is going, like, online platforms are where it's at. Like, that would be my biggest goal right now, is to get on a series, probably on something like Netflix, or like, I love working with the BBC. Like, hopefully we get a season 2. But it's really interesting that you say that, because I do recognise lots of people are just on streaming services now.
That'd be sick though, if you used to go on something like through Netflix or whatever. That'd be incredible.
Hopefully, you never know what's happening.
Yeah, watch his face. You heard it here first. So, bikes or cars?
Cars. I love bikes. I absolutely love bikes. But yeah, it'd have to be my first love, which is always cars, you know.
So quite a deep question, I guess. Because when I was looking at all of your interviews and stuff earlier, from what I've seen anyway, I might not have seen it all, but you've, like, the majority of the people that have interviewed you have been male. So I felt it was quite nice to obviously give a female perspective on it from the both of us. So in terms of someone that is looking to start working in the car industry, or in, you know, making it in the car scene, what advice would you give to someone, like a female, that is in such a male dominated industry? Like, what advice could you give?
Put your blinkers on, keep your head down, and just try not to let it all bounce off you, because you know what I mean, when you work in the industry, you're bound to get criticized and you're bound to incur some shit. But put your blinkers on, and you can control what you're creating. So make sure that you're doing the best job that you can with the tools that you have. And if your intentions are good, you know, like, you're gonna succeed. It's just about keeping up with yourself, you know. But definitely put your blinkers on, because I think as much as things have moved on a lot since I started, but it's still there. I mean, I just saw some twat in the chat a minute ago being like, are you going to show any boobs or what? Like, it's just...
I didn't see that.
I did, yes. Yeah, it's like it's fucking boring, to be honest, when you see, and you'll incur it the entire time that you're in this industry. So if you've got to put your blinkers on, create your content, keep your head up, and just crack on, you'll be grand.
Yeah, I agree. Like, there's a lot of stigma around females with cars, and it, you know, I think it's inevitable that a female is going to get hate during this sort of stuff. So I think the best thing to have is just like thick skin. Like, you just have to let it go over your head, because otherwise it will destroy you, especially like, you know, in times like now with internet hate and, you know, just anonymous comment. Like, so much stuff can get to so many people, and it's just awful.
Have you found that you've had kickback from creating content?
I don't think I've had as much as some girls out there. Like, I don't think mine has been as bad as it's been at all.
Like, the amount of times where someone said something and I've clapped back real quick, and they're like, oh, yeah, I still think your content's really good though. And it's like,
yeah.
Like, why you wait? Like, they just do it to get everything out of you.
Yeah.
I'm actually working on bringing out a series on my YouTube channel where I'm coming to chat to all of the girls, especially people like you, like creators in the space, just about what it's like to actually be a female in the space, and just real open interviews. Because I know a lot of creators now have things like OnlyFans, and OnlyFans have enabled girls to create the cars of their dreams. Do you know what I mean? And like, with that has come this insane backlash, you know? And that's what I really want to dig into. Like, yeah, like people are even saying in the chat, like, I don't think it's about that, but I think it's really interesting to get the perspective of the girls out there that are doing that. At the end of the day, they're out there having fun and enjoying their cars themselves, but it comes with what feels like a lot of shit.
And especially for something like someone's job as well. Like, when has it ever been anyone's business what anyone does for their job? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, there's so much hate around that sort of stuff. And as soon as, like, you know, a guy sees a female's car build, they're like, oh, it's it's funded by OnlyFans, or when are you making an OnlyFans? Like, it's just, everything seems to be centered around it now. But I would love to see a series from you in regards to that. Like, that would be incredible. Like, I think that would go down so well, and it might maybe make like even just 5% of the people that are hating just realize what they're doing and the logic behind it. Even if it just changes 5% of the people, it's progress. Do you know what I mean?
At the end of the day, it's happening. And like, personally for me, like, it wouldn't be for me, because I'm old, and I'm just like, I'm
not old,
but I do think, like, you're brave. I think the girls that are doing it and taking control of their image and taking control of what they do with their bodies and how they work it, like, that's entirely up to you what you do. And I think, you know, fair play to you. But I do not think that some of the things that get said and the way they're treated online, and like, it's just disgusting. And I just shine a spotlight on it to actually show people, like, you can't do this to us. You know, when I started on the show fields like years ago, like doing stuff, and there's me just like just driving around in my little E21, and some of the disgusting shit that would go on, and you just think this is all just it's fostered an environment where men think it's appropriate to do that. So it's like, and as I said, I'd like to just shine a light on all the creators in the space, not necessarily just ones with OnlyFans or anything like that, and just be able to tell your stories. You know, see the cars that you built. I think it's wicked. Like, there are so many more female creators now than there ever was. So I'd love to meet all of you and just be like, go on, encourage. Here's a platform. Here's my platform. Let's do something together.
Yeah, I love that. That honestly sounds like such a sick idea. I would be 100% behind that.
You're going to be on it anyway, so there you go. Like, you'll be on.
You heard it here first, guys. Okay, so how did you end up getting found by Red Bull?
Sorry, that's me.
That's fine.
Red Bull came about from 2017. Goodwood Festival of Speed. Everybody was doing like rides up the hill in different things. So like, I was out in Ferrari, and I was out in this car and that car, like Jaguar, Audi, whatever. And Red Bull came to me and they were like, yo, do you want to go out in one of the Kamaz trucks? Like the Kamaz trucks is from the Dakar rally. Like they're like the support vehicles which follow the cars throughout the rally. They're sick. They're really quick, really cool. And I was like, yeah, wicked. And I made a video where I went up the hill in a Ferrari and I was like, this is fun. And then I went out in the Kamaz truck and I was just absolutely loving it. It was getting it broadside everywhere. Just having the crack with the whole thing. And then after that video went out, that they asked me to go to the Rally GB, which is in Wales. And I met Sebastian Ogier, who's like a hero. He's like a French rally hero. Like totally loved him. Was like in love with him practically. Like I'm back and like calm down, like stop rubbing. And I made a video called "How to Make a Girl Fall in Love in One WRC Stage" because he took
about that,
and he took me like in his car to do the test stage with him. And he took me twice up the stage because he was like, do you want to go again? I was like, yeah, like I really wanted to go. And it was wicked. And it was after that video that we started talking about the Drift Queen opportunity, and then the rest is history.
Wow, that's incredible.
It was nuts.
So is that the same sort of way that you got into drifting, or was drifting after that?
No, drifting was Drift Queen. Like Drift Queen, just I owe a lot to Drift Queen. And I mean, I met my fella from Drift Queen. I got my working for Drift Masters from like off the back of Drift Queen. Like a lot came off the back of that series. So, and also it was like my first 2 seasons of a pre-recorded full-on season with a platform, Red Bull TV. So it was kind of very much, I didn't even realize how big of an opportunity it was at the time. But yeah, I just took it and ran with it. Like and drifting has come all off the back of that.
See, I'd love to do something like that, but I feel like a lot of the time I would sit there and I'd end up overthinking it, and then it would get to the point where I'm like, no, I can't do it. Although I'd love to do it, like I don't know, stuff like that, it makes me so nervous. So like, go you for doing it.
Yeah, look, so as I said, with all of these things, like I very much view life as like you come to a crossroads without naturally knowing that you come to a crossroads. So it was a left or right. It was like you either sink or you swim, you know? You sink or swim. And I turned left and said, yeah, let's do it, see what happens. And then everything just snowballed from there, really. Like it was like, okay, do you want to try live presenting? Okay, cool. And then that's how I ended up in Drift Masters. Obviously, I met James like in the first series of Drift Queen, which was kind of nuts, you know, like 4 years on, here we are. It just loads of things came off the back of that series. But like I do think with drifting, like you have to accept that you're gonna fail. I think that's like I fail all the time, even still, and it's like you have to keep pushing yourself constantly. So yeah, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. If you get some lessons and stuff, like I'll take you out in the car one time, we'll do something. Any girl that wants to try drifting, I'm always like big advocate, like get in a school car, go to a school day, get yourself out there. It's great.
This is a conversation I was having earlier. I would love to learn how to drift, but it's just terrifying, especially if I was to get taught by a male as well. I think that it would make me more nervous than being taught by a female. And I was like kind of spitballing on my partner before I started this. I was like, how cool was it if like you could show me how to drift and we made it into like a series or whatever? I was like, that'd be sick. Obviously, no pressure. I'm not asking you to do it right now or anything.
No pressure. But how would you feel about that?
Yeah, no pressure, but you have no choice. No, I'm just joking.
No.
So something like that would be sick, and I'd love to learn how to do it. It's such a badass thing to do, but I don't know if I could do it.
Yeah, you could, 100%. You just need to push yourself over that edge. Like, you'd be totally fine. If I was sat in the car talking you through it, you know, when you have someone there who knows what they're doing, like it's honestly a lot more simple than you think. Like, I'd get you do it. Do you know how to do a donut?
No, I'm completely like blank on any of it.
And you've got a Mustang as well. Like those are the easiest well to get to do a donut. So we'll teach you how to do a donut first, clockwise, anti-clockwise. Like we taught like Archie Hamilton for a while back. We taught him how to drift in a day. Like you get it. Do you know what I mean? Like I just do. It's getting comfortable with the car sliding, right? And once you've experienced it once, you can just start to get a feel for it. So I definitely think I'll be able to teach you. I'm looking at the minute to find a 350Z for car, because at the moment my S15 is over here. So I'm looking for a car to keep over in the UK. And as soon as I have a car like that, then I can teach anybody. Do you know what I mean?
Happy days. I'll bear that in mind.
Yeah, no bother. I think your friend is doing a drift day or something. I saw that sisterhood event. I got tagged in something the other day. You should go to.
Yeah, so she's doing like a whole it's the Garage Girls thing, and she's doing a whole event, and you can go and look at cars, but you can also drive a supercar and you can learn to drift as well. I wanted to do it, but the whole thing came of it that was like, I don't want to be taught by a stranger, and it just scared me. So I was like, no, I can't do it. So I'm doing the supercar experience. I've never driven a supercar before either, and I'm absolutely shitting bricks, I'm not gonna lie. But my partner is gonna try the drifting. So I'm gonna see how he gets on with it, and then just be like, how was it? And then maybe go from there. But yeah, I think it's just like the thought of being taught by an absolute stranger that just scares me.
Yeah, that's natural as well, because like, is it the fact that you feel like you're embarrassed if you got it wrong? Is that what's really in it? Yeah. So you have to try, and it's hard, but it's just letting that go. But naturally, as women, we don't like to fail at things. Like, we feel embarrassed. Like, you know, even, do you know what the weirdest thing is? Like, I know how to park a car. I do. But when I've sensed that there's loads of people watching me and I'm trying to do a parallel park into something, fuck knows what could happen. I could end up on the curb. Do you know what I mean? It's just that pressure of somebody being there watching you, and that type of. So yeah, I think you'd get, right now is the scariest point, when you have no idea what it's like to be in the car or how it's going to react or this and that. So you'll be fine. We'll get you out. Don't worry.
We'll get it going. We'll get it going. Okay, so what's your dream realistic car, or do you own it?
I guess I'd really like a GT3 RS. I'd really like a 3 RS. Like, that's a bad boy car. Or what else? I don't know, really. Yeah, I've always just kind of fancied the GT3. And a list of old school cars that I'd love, like an old 328. I'd love a Testarossa. I would love, God, what else would I like? There's a whole list. E30 M3. I'd love one. I just want a collection of like classic cars, you know. But as far as sort of modern stuff, definitely GT3 RS.
What colour would you go for?
Yellow.
Oh, see, I'm obsessed with the Miami blue. I think it's incredible. Yeah,
that's punchy. Miami blue cars are nice, but since I had the speed yellow car, I definitely think if I was going to get something spicy, it'd have to be that.
Yeah, yellow would be a close second, I think.
Yeah.
So in terms of, like, you know, you've won the lottery and you can buy any car in the world, like no budget, supercar, whatever, what would you get?
God, probably a Bugatti Super Sport. Like,
really?
the Chiron Super Sports, they're so bad. Like, they're ridiculous. If you ever seen one up close, you're like, what is this machine? It's a spaceship. Like, it's just wicked. And you just don't see them, do you know? Like, they're kind of nuts.
Yeah, I'd agree. I've only ever seen them on like YouTube and stuff. I haven't seen one in person, but they are something else, but ridiculously expensive.
I think they're like 2 million quid or something like that.
Some...
Chump change, my friend. Chump change. I'll have.
Why not? So any car that you've ever seen in person or you've seen on the internet, what is your least favourite car in the world? Like something that you just look at and you're like, that's disgusting.
Chrysler Crossfire. Do you know what one of them is?
I don't know. Hang on, I'm going to Google it.
It's really ugly. I've never really liked them. What else do I not like? That's really quite hard. I'd say, do you know what I also really don't like is I don't like Nissan Dukes. Is it Dukes? I don't really like them.
I think they look like frogs.
Yeah, funny looking machine. Citroen Cactus, terrible machine. Fiat Multipla. Do you know what? Secret here. My dad had a red PT Cruiser, Chrysler PT Cruiser. Terrible. Like, terrible machine.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the Crossfire and I get where you're coming from. Jesus Christ, one here on massive wheels. Can't even show you because it's just not easy enough to. But it's just one on like monster truck wheels. Yeah,
it's not ideal, to be honest. I never really liked that. I don't what. Do you know what? Weirdly, when the G80 M3 came out, I was like, what is that? Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
don't even know what that. But now actually, it's really grown on me, which is kind of weird. I never thought it would, but actually, I've seen a couple of them where they're lowered and stanced, and like the nice carbon canards and everything on them, and they do look really nice. So it's turn the tide a little bit.
A lot. Like when I first started this, I was like, oh, Nissan Cube, like hate them. But the more I've come on here and the more people have said to me about it, I'm like, you know what? They're actually growing on me.
They're really cool.
They're just different.
Put them on wheels and like put them on some space, like space them and put some wheels on them, and they can look really cool. I think loads of cars look better just lowered, honestly. First thing you do to a car if you want to change the way it looks, just lower it.
I really want to with the Mustang, but I just don't know. Like, it makes it so impractical, and it's like, it's kind of my daily. Like, my partner has his car, so if he's out, like, that's the only car I have to choose from. So I don't know. I want to keep it practical, but I want to make it look sick. Like, I'm kind of swearing towards bag, which has actually put us into the next question, which is statical bags.
Well, you've just answered your own question there. You want it to look sick, but you want it to be like practical bags. That's it. That was the only, like, coilovers are great. Like, my first cars always had coilovers on because I couldn't afford air. And if you want to do some serious like driving with it, I'd say keep with the coilovers. But like if you want like a show car and make it look cool and stancy, just bag it, because then you just raise it up to a sensible ride height.
Yeah.
And just put there's a really nice kit to do for Mustang. Steve Fraser, do you know him? Like,
he's been on actually, and he tried to sell me on bags the whole time, and I was like, afterwards I was like, God, I really want bags now.
There he is, top salesman. I think he did bags for, there's a girl I follow, what's her name, Jamie Genevieve, you know, the makeup girl.
Haven't heard of her actually.
She's amazing, check her out. But basically her fella's got a Mustang, and I think Steve put bags on his car anyway, and it looks really cool. It does look really cool.
Yeah,
you should do that. That's your next thing, get bags for it. Thank you.
If anyone says anything otherwise, we're like, no, I've got to get bags now.
Yeah, 100%.
My full bank account is growing. I feel like I know the answer to this, but new or old?
Old.
Yeah, old. I didn't know he was going to say that.
Yeah, I like my new stuff, but I just think that the older things just have a lot of character, and they're just cool, like really cool.
Just unique.
Definitely.
Okay, a couple more questions. So, do you feel it's difficult to be a woman in the car scene?
Ugh. Do I think it's difficult? I think it's a pain sometimes. I think it's a pain. And I also think that it's getting easier. There's more of us than there ever was, and we're more visible than we ever were. And I think now there's more of us to hang around with. Do you know what I mean? Like, do you have quite a few girl mates that you go to shows with? Do you have friends that you go to the shows with?
I have a couple of people that live around me that I'm not really that close to, that are into cars, but the majority of my like real close car friends are like online.
Yeah.
Like, and it's horrible at times because, you know, you sit down and you're like, oh, I want to go to a car show, but you have to meet in the middle. You can't just go together. Like Kate, for example, I've met Kate before. Like, I've been friends with Kate for like 2 or 3 years now, and it was so nice to finally put like an internet face to real life. And I wish I lived closer to her, but I just don't. And it sucks in that sense. But it's nice that we can all have a place to meet in the middle, like at a car show.
So you were saying, no, you were saying that you live quite far away from each other, so it's hard to sort of middle to go to car stuff. Where does she live? Is she in the north?
Yeah, she's like, I'm like down here, and I'm like here, and she's like up there.
Where are you?
I'm like Cambridgeshire kind of way.
Down the A14.
Yeah, sure. I think so. I'm like an hour away from Cambridge.
Okay, that's grand. That's fine then, yeah.
So that's it's okay. Like,
what
down here.
Town?
Sorry?
What would be your nearest town?
My nearest town, like Peterborough.
Yeah, so we're not that far away from each other, actually.
Are we not?
No. Warwick's not that far away at all. Not that far.
We'll discuss the specifics off the live.
Do not tell them.
No.
You live on here, whatever you do, because they will find you.
Yeah. Oh, honestly, internet people. I think you've kind of covered what I was going to ask next, which is like, do you find it's difficult to find friends that are car girls that are close to you?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, yeah. We have a lot of our friends online, don't we? Like we meet a lot of people online. I think this year one of my main things is to meet more of you, because I want to go back to going to a few shows every now and then, and I think if this is like the best time, like who's going to jobs next weekend? Are you going?
I'm not. No.
What? I'm not. I'm going to Ultimate Dubs next weekend, so I want to meet as many of you as I can. You know, like get a little crew.
Have you got any other ones planned?
Shows at the minute, I don't know. I'm just going with the flow. This is what I mean. Like, I think we should sort of do a little meetup where we can go to these shows together. Like I'm more than happy to do that. That would be great.
Yeah, sure, that'd be great. I'm going to Ultimate Show is the next one, I think, as well as I've completely forgotten what it's called, but me and Kate was literally talking about it earlier. It's the one at Santa Pod.
Ultimate Streetcar?
No.
Bug Jam?
No. I can't for the life of me think what it's called, but it's at Santa Pod.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's easy. That's only up the road. You'll have to let me know.
Yeah, for sure. I need to like get everything into a schedule, because at the moment I'm just like, oh, there's a car show next week. I should probably sort that out.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I'd like to go to. I think it is the Fast Show. I think someone just said in the comments.
Oh yeah, that's my partner. Yeah, Fast Show.
Ah, there he is. Thank you, partner. I think that's, if it doesn't clash with any sort of drift events, then yeah, that should be good. I'd be willing.
That'll be cool. What is your best car related memory?
Best car. I would say, God, it sounds really mad, but there's been so. I'd say probably when I was at Willow Springs in California. There's like a big track up there, and James took me for my first spin in his FD car. That was pretty. You know what I mean? It was like this amazing track, and just flying around in this drift car. Like I think it was nearly 1,000 horsepower. His competition car out there when he was doing Formula Drift, and it was just this like amazing moment where you were like, oh my god, this is mental. Yeah, I'd say that, or maybe when I was in Japan, that was kind of cool as well. We were walking around this VR garage where it was just so much heritage and cool stuff, and then we were driving up and down the Toge roads in Japan near Mount Fuji, and I was like, this is just cool, you know, like.
Oh, you've muted. Are you back?
It's time at night. What is going on?
Okay, so final question. We'll keep it light. We'll keep it fun. You're doing a long distance in a car, or you're just vibing, you're just jamming. What are you listening to?
What was it? Like long distance.
Or maybe this is your go-to.
I'm showing my age again. I listen to podcasts now. But if it was just like vibey sort of music, I would definitely be like, have you heard like a lot of Labyrinth's new stuff? Like I love all of that from sort of Euphoria.
Yeah, I'm obsessed with that.
Yeah, a lot of Bicep type stuff. A lot of just, I find after a while when you're listening to loads of like lyrics music, if you're on like a long drive, like my brain is always firing with ideas and things, like what's going on. I like to listen to music without lyrics, but then if I'm just sort of going on a short journey, then it will be sort of kind of old school Missy Elliott or garage. I listen to a lot of UK garage.
Yeah, I could see that actually. That I feel like that makes sense.
Yeah, but like I was always like a big garage girl, like when I still am. Definitely.
Love it. Okay, so that covers everything from my end. We'll have a couple of minutes. If anyone wants to pop any questions in the Q&A box, it's like down here somewhere. So if anyone's got any questions, pop them in there. We'll go through a couple and we will finish this thing off, because I feel like we've been on here for ages. The conversation just flowed so well. I love it. Oh, you froze. Oh no. Oh, is she going to come back? What has happened? Oh god, this hasn't happened before. Let me look through the questions while hopefully can you guys still hear me? Or is it my end? Hopefully it's not my end. It seemed to be when she moved the phone. Oh god, she's gone. Okay. Hopefully she'll request to come back. Not sure what happened. I think her signal went. She said that she was in Ireland, so. Oh, hang on. It says she's requested. Hopefully she'll come back in. Okay, you can hear me. Okay. Hopefully she'll come. Oh, there we go. There we go.
I don't understand what happened there. I'm a technophobe, so I apologize. I like clicked something, so I was like trying to read some of the comments, and I was like, oh my god, I've just clicked out of it, and I could just see our conversation be happening. So I was like, seriously, what's wrong with me?
That hasn't happened before, and I was sat here. I was like, oh my god, what do I do? What do I talk about?
That's because I'm an idiot. You did nothing wrong.
I was fine. Don't worry about it.
I had the butterfingers over here, just like pressing buttons for no reason. So apologies.
It's fine. It's fine. At least you came back. At least you just didn't leave me in the lurch.
Yeah. No, I'm here.
But yeah, if anyone's got any questions, pop them in the Q&A box. We'll go through a couple, and then we will finish this thing off. 2000s car scene or current?
2000s car scene, babes. 100%. I'm old school. But that's only because I'm reliving my youth. Like,
yeah,
I'm your age. Shit, was I your age? No. 2000. How old would I have been in 2000?
What year were you born?
Oh, I'm talking 2010 then. So it couldn't be
okay.
2000. I mean, I was 8, so forget me.
Year 2000, I was 1.
So 2000s to me would be like when I was 20, which is not 10 years. It was 10 years ago. Shit, it was 10 years ago.
It's crazy.
Oh my god. So yeah, 2012.
So
that's
like
nuts.
2010s.
Yeah, we'll just say that. Yeah, so 2010s, not 2000s. I'm not that old yet.
Are you going to Modified Nationals?
When is it? What is it? Where is it?
I think it's summertime, and I think it is actually Peterborough, so it's like very close to me. Yeah. I want to go to it. I need to sort out going to it, but I want to say it's like June or July.
Cool.
I've got a whole list of everything somewhere, but I need to find it out.
Might do, yeah. I'm going to make sure I'm going to go to a good few shows this year. So maybe I'll be there.
Love it. Tips for buying first project car?
Go for something that you can afford, and if you use only half of your money on buying the actual car, because you're always going to spend another half on actually modifying it
or fixing it.
Yeah.
That makes sense. That's pretty good advice, actually. Are you still going ahead with the engine swap in the E21?
Yeah, 100%. It's on my list of things to do. The E92 kind of threw a spanner in the works because there's about $3 grand worth of work that needs to be done to that. So at the minute, like, I've just been concentrating on sort of setting my year up and figuring out what I'm doing. But the E21 has to be back out this summer, because that is just sacrilege for it to sit inside for another summer. So yeah, definitely still going ahead with that.
Cool. Okay. So how was your experience on Gassed Up with Mist?
Loved it. Mist is such a character. He's so funny. He's so sound as well. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'd never met him before. I'm nervous with him. And actually, once you get to know him, he's just a big kid, a massive big kid. Like, I just hear his laugh like all the way through the day. All I hear is like Mist just pissing himself, like laughing at something. So yeah, it was really good fun. Like, to be honest, never in a million years would I have picked us two to end up on a show together, but then it just really works. Like, TV people just know what they're doing. Do you know?
Yeah, that's great. That's what it's all about, and it makes it easier to do that sort of stuff, I'm sure, as well, with getting along with someone.
Yeah, for sure.
I think that covers all of our questions, and I'm not going to take up any more of your time, because I said this was going to be an hour and 20 minutes in.
No bother whatsoever, my sweet. It's been wonderful. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming on. Like I said, I do appreciate it, but you've made me feel really comfortable, and I'm no longer nervous, so I do appreciate it.
Best thing, honestly, always, like, the one thing I'll always say to you is, like, most of the time when you're interviewing people, they're just as nervous, if not nervous, than you are. This is your floor. You've handled it amazingly. You've got a great future if you want to be doing some kind of interviewing or talking to people. Nicely prepped. Good work. I'm very impressed.
Thank you. I was like, it got to 8 o'clock, and then you said about video calling you to test the signal out, and I was like, oh my god, I'm going to be late. She's not going to come on.
You're grand. You did really good. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming on. For those of you that are still here, I'm sure most of you have come from your side anyway, but obviously make sure to give both of us a follow. All of our Instagrams are both at the bottom. And yeah, this will be uploaded to YouTube if you haven't seen the full thing, so make sure to subscribe to the channel. And yeah, I guess we'll speak to you guys soon.
Alrighty. Bye, my chick. I'll see you soon.
Bye, everyone. Bye.
Bye, bye, bye.